uh, broadcast this moment. Yes, Mazi Simon Ekpa said he is coming home for the doubted Thomas to lead the revolution according to his submissions of most recent. You see, people tend to undermine or underestimate, of course, the person of Mazi Simon Ekpa. But of most recent, it's becoming clear that he matches his words with actions. He matches his words with actions and is not flinching about his position, his stance, of course, for the restoration of the Biafran state, the sovereignty of the Biafran state is sacrosanct and must be restored at all costs according to his submissions. And he has maintained his composure, however, obvious and exacerbating. You see, some are still calling him the a spy to the Nigerian government. The same Nigerian government that is lamenting, that is, I mean, doing whatever possible to get him down. I don't know how people reason sometimes. This is a man that had been in the wanted list of the Nigerian Defense Headquarters, and yet some gullible, some unfortunate persons will still say that Simon Ekpa is working for Nigerian government. How do you reconcile this? You can see the level of madness on the part of some. In fact, you begin to think even if they really have common sense, how can you see? Look at what the Chief of Defense Staff said of recent during the Independence Day on the 12th of June. It was he was so embittered over what he claims to be the activities of the boys of Simon Ekpa in the East. Because according to him, it was a disappointment to him. They thought by now they would have overrun the Biafran Defense Force or the Biafran Liberation Force. Of course, they deployed all the arsenals of the states, the air raiding, the bombardment, and the military or the foot soldiers, the armored tanks, the facilities. I mean, can they be going against somebody who is a stooge to them? Can they be going against someone who they knew, of course, is already under their control? Some people don't even have sense at all. Sorry to use that word, but that, in fact, it is the least I could describe them. What kind of madness, what kind of destructive people are these? Somebody said, Ekperima. You calling Simon Ekperima that is working for Nigerian government. You are mad. The person must be mad. Or possibly may have lost his sense of reasoning. Do you know how much it has cost Nigerian government to bring down Simon Ekpa and his men? No, you don't know. I read from Simon Ekpa Twitter. He said that two suicide bombers were sent to assassinate him, but they ended up in Denmark. After, of course, they were exposed and their mission was foiled. I mean, Johannes is virtually ganging up against the man they said was working for Nigerian government. In fact, I don't know why some people, God created some people and called them, in fact, they are not far from, let me not just use such a words. I will try to avoid it as much as I can. No, think about that. The whole country is trying to bring down Simon Ekpa, and you're still saying that Simon Ekpa is working for Nigerian government against Nnamdi Kanu. He doesn't want Nnamdi Kanu to be released. He's working for Nigerian government to destroy the entire East. I mean, what kind of stupidity is this? In fact, for a man to come and lament the way the chief of defense staff is, his facial expression shows that he's not happy and he's being frustrated. And he said that Nigerian government should be decisive about the extradition of Simon Ekpa. They want to do everything. They don't want to leave any stone unturned to bring him back, even though it becomes diabolical means, or engaging any person, machinery that could do that. It doesn't matter the cost. I don't understand why people should not reason beyond their nose. So some people have said again, he is coming home to lead the revolution. Some have been expecting, come home, Simon, but come home now, come to Nigeria. Well, according to him, he's coming to Biafra to lead the revolution that will bring about the total emancipation, total deliverance, total breakaway of the Biafran state and the restoration of the Biafran sovereignty. He says he's coming home. With fire and brimstone. Not a man who has been accused, of course, for being responsible or for fueling the crisis or the activities of the agitators, making it almost impossible. The same Simon, but the Nigerian Defense Headquarters or Defense Chief of Defense Staff testified that Simon Ekpa has taken over the airspace, have compromised the Nigerian airspace. Also, Simon Ekpa, they are losing Nigerian men, military are losing their men. Though I understood that some, of course, notorious gangs who are not even part of Simon Ekpa might take advantage of that. Some politicians has unknown gunmen. That is the truth. Even some instrument of the state has unknown gunmen. Even the DSS has unknown gunmen. Just as even the military has unknown gunmen, because Fela even sang it. Fela of blessed memory sang unknown soldier, unknown police. It is not today that the unknown soldiers and unknown police, unknown militias has been constituting devastating, of course, effect on the existence of humanity. But of most recent, you cannot understand the position of Simon Ekpa. Simon Ekpa came to fore after the extraordinary rendition of Mazin Nnamdi Kanu. In one of the days, I stumbled at his video. I watched him cry because of the rendition of Nnamdi Kanu. He wept bitterly and he left the camera to wipe off his tears. That was the day I said that this man will not spare any stone unturned to avenge for Nnamdi Kanu. But what is happening today? It has become the talk of the day. It has, in the eyes of the storm, Simon Ekpa, Simon Ekpa. Everybody's talking about Simon Ekpa. The same people, gullible people, will say that Simon Ekpa is working for Nigeria. If it's working for Nigerian government, will Nigeria be complaining? Will they be sponsoring for his immediate extradition? Would they be accusing the European Union? Would they be accusing Finland for shading him? Can you imagine that? You can't imagine that. So the day I saw Simon Ekpa in his one of his programs, he shed tears. Bitter when a man shed tears, I mean a heartfelt pain. That tears runs is not this crocodile tears. You know that this man, the pain was so heavy. I said, "Oh, if I were to advise the Nigerian government, it's just to release this man. It's just to release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, because if you have arrested someone or kidnapped someone who is using diplomatic means, engagements, sensitization, creating of awareness or mobilization, of course, to realize and protest civil disobedience to achieve the same purpose. You you bounced on him. He escaped after a failed assassination on his life. You went to Kenya and renditioned him. You have paved a way for anarchy. You have paved a way for self-liberation by armed struggle. That is what you did. You invited the destruction without knowing it. But the reality is what is starting to us. I'm not in support of any, of course, violence, but I'm here making interpretation and analysis, unbiased analysis of what is playing out. And of course, my esteemed fans would also contribute, make their own contributions regarding what is happening. Yes, we can learn from each other, but that is the truth. The moment you renditioned Nnamdi Kanu, you are paving way for kinetic. And I said then, if eventually these people that are lifting placards expressing their fundamental human rights to self-determination, I have not seen any Nigerian law that says self-determination is a crime. I have not seen that a protest is a crime. Even the current president, Ahmed Bola Tinubu, protested against the military juntas vehemently, and nobody opened fire against them on those days. Now, protest has become a crime, has become a taboo. Protest is way of getting the attention of the government or those concerned, uh, to begin to look into critical issues of concern, of interest to the people or the ethnic nationalities or to the workforce. So any responsible government must must listen to the people, try to get what exactly is their needs, or how to address such needs or provide solutions, if not immediate, but mid-term or a long-term, of course, solution to such issues. But if you think you can coerce people, you can intimidate people, oppress people, you are just inviting anarchy. So, responding to the issue of regional governments that have become a current deliberation on the Senate plenary, and of course, the politicians are now seeing the importance or the need and urgent need, of course, to save Nigeria from total volcanization, total collapse. Say, okay, let's consider, of course, a regional government. Let each region control their resources. But this is what people has been crying for, lamenting for decades, that have kept Nigeria in the state of motionless despair. People have no job today. Nigerians are hungry. There is no source of livelihood. I mean, when I listened to His Excellency President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, he said They are considering to pass the minimum wage. He said it's a living wage. It's a living minimum wage. How is it a living minimum wage? It's a dead minimum wage. It's a dead minimum wage. Which what you have been paying Nigerian workers is dead. And that is why they can't survive with that. It's not even enough to take them home. In this current Nigeria today, how what can 62,000 do to a family, even an individual? An individual. You know how much to go to island, common island here. By the time you go and come back, you have spent not less than 4, 5 without taking any snack. If you dare, you can't dare to take snacks unless you have more than 10,000 with you. No snacks now, not even a common biscuit that you used to buy 10 naira, 20 naira. The least biscuit now is three. The one you can even, it's not even biscuit, three, 200 naira. And if you want to eat something that is good, you'll be talking about 600 or 1,000 plus. So if Nigeria have gotten to this point and people are still living, some are still living in denial, all is not well with Nigeria. That is the truth. All is not well with Nigeria. And recent, uh, with the recent state briefing or media briefing by the chief of defense staff, you know that all is not well with the country. Yes, all is not well with Nigeria. And no one can deny the truth unless you decide to deceive yourself. All is not well with this country, Nigeria. Look at what is happening in Zamfara State. Look at what is happening in Meduguri, in Bronu. Look at what is happening in Nasarawa, in Jos, in Plateau, in Benue. I mean, you begin to ask, I don't even blame the military personnel because they have been overstretched. Not be human being they be. Not be human being they will they multiply as locusts? They can be everywhere at the same time. So they have been overwhelmed by the state of anarchy, by the state of insecurity, rocking the entire country. That is the truth. So with all these things, shouldn't that be importance for the government to begin to think? How do you profile lasting solution? You can't be wasting your own soldiers. It is not a sign of strength. No, it is not a sign of strength taking a battalion and they didn't return. Moving them to the war front and they didn't come back. It is not. And America, who is has the largest military personnel, can't do that. When they see that no, exposing their soldiers or military personnel we record more casualties, then we withdraw from that and deploy other means of engagement. Yes, they withdraw their soldiers in Afghanistan and other parts of course, we've seen. So, engaging the Nigerian military against a people who said they have made up their mind. This is no longer a joke. It's not longer an issue of round table. It is not an issue of round table. The Nigerian situation has gotten to the point of no return. It's not an issue of round table. It would have been an issue of round table before the extraordinary rendition of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. They would have sat together and said, okay, what do we do? How do we get this solved? and still maintain bilateral relationship, peace, and of course, uh, be good neighbors to each other and promote growth and economic advancement, of course, across board. But once it resulted to the rendition of Mazen and Kanu and other agitation group who believe much in armed struggle, who had been telling Mazen and Kanu, you see, let us resort to armed struggle. That is the only language they understand. Mazen and Kanu will tell them, no, we will win them with the instrument of truth. We will win them, of course, diplomatic engagements. But today, once Mazen and Kanu step out, they step in, and it is becoming more ruthless and brutal. The truth, the Simon Ekpa, who is well established, well highly connected, he said he is not the one, he's just the face of Biafran struggle. There are other strong men standing behind him, and you don't know who they are. So you can't just stop Simon Ekpa except you stop those strong men. He said it, he is just the face of Biafra. You can't stop him. He's just a messenger. He's just the face of Biafra. There are people behind him more powerful than him, more stronger than him, more influential than him. Who told him, Aya, Butuzo, Alpogenazu, Odigi Henemen, Ome, Iwara Yagota. That is the truth. I will always say the truth, nothing but the truth. These guys subdues nation. They control the words of international countries, hard currencies. They are highly wired and connected. They are well established and consolidated in the different countries where they reside. They said we have to build a country of our own where we can be proud to identify, where we can develop, and where we can give our brothers and sisters the opportunity to live out their expectations or aspirations in life, where they will not be treated as dogs or animals. Simon Ekpa said it. Maybe you didn't hear him. He said, I am just a face of the struggle. There are more powerful men, powerful in terms of hard currencies, powerful in terms of connections, powerful in terms of knowledge, in terms of woto or whatever you think. They are well loaded, they are well established to see that this cause of Biafra becomes a reality. And if you can't get those people, if you can't stop them, how do you think? How dare you think you can stop Mazen Nnamdi Kanu or Simon Ekpa? The only way you can stop Simon Ekpa is when you release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Because prior to the rendition of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, Simon Ekpa was not all that violence. He was just running his program, of course, running his social media programs, and it wasn't violence because Mazen Nnamdi Kanu would not allow him to be violent. As he claims to be the disciple of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. And of course, he have expressed that he maintained his level, his boundaries, not after the rendition of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. He stepped in, and today, he's a man who believes if you come kinetics, let's do it. If you come woto, let's do it. Whatever you face, let's face it. He said he's coming home, and people think he is just joking, he's just ranting. Just wait for him. So, how prepared are you to confront him? He's not just the one. He's just the face of Biafra. I think wisdom should inform anyone to understand the handwriting on the wall. That is no longer at the 1967 or 1970, whatever. That these people are well determined. In fact, when someone has given up over something repeatedly and you force the person to hurt you, you force the person to renounce or denounce you, you 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 means nothing to the person. You are just not existing in the minds of this over 70 or 80 millions of Biafrans. Now what are you waiting? What are you still waiting? You just want to continue to render families orphans or fatherless in prosecuting a failed battle, a failed war. Because if you have not won the ideological war, psychological war, how can you win the war of kinetics? How can you win the war of kinetics when you have not been able to defeat the people ideologically? Because ideological war presupposes that you cannot use kinetics to win ideological war except you have a superior argument, a superior ideology to engage these people to abandon whatever ideology that is prevalent. But if you don't have it, what are you doing? Kasịkwa na anyị na-eme, kasịkwa na anyị nọ anyị uwe kaki. I told you a brother, an uncle, of course, lost one of his closest friends, your childhood friend in Abia State, who happens to be from Abia State. The Charles Ugochukwu. He cried his eyes out. So my advice to him is, father, is brother, is quite unfortunate that it has happened, but you can't ignore the danger signs. You can't ignore them. I think madaga hu ihe ga-egwu ya anya tie anya dị ọ ga-akpọ gị na ikwu isi life and direct. Well, that is an Igbo proverb. You can't see something that will poke your eye and you put your eye there. In Abazi Ofala, are you a god? Or are you a god? That is quite unfortunate. It's quite unfortunate. But he lost his bosom friend. It's quite unfortunate, the incidents, but the truth is that Nigeria is never the same. So I hope that the states, the governments will understand this. In the north, the Islamic State of West African province are expanding their tentacles, expanding their horizon, recruiting more people to still fight against the same Nigerian government and the military. They, they made a post, a viral video that went viral, claiming that they have decimated most of the Nigerian, and they claim by the Nigerian government that the people they killed are still alive. They were showing it one by one, calling their names. Look at the people they said they have killed. What is that telling you? There's a serious problem, a very serious one. How do we solve this problem? For me, this problem cannot be solved by living in denial. It can't be solved by keeping quiet. It can't be solved by mere ranting. There must be decisiveness and political will, courage to say, this is the truth. Possibly a time will come when the senators will now, of course, leave the Senate chambers and carry gun to defend and enroll compulsory enrollment in Nigerian military to defend the Nigerian states is a must. If it is a must, not just at the Senate plenary, they'll begin to carry arms because most of the military personnel are demoralized. Some of them are complaining, the few who are bold enough to come out to say, even they are not being catered for. Of most recent, two of them were caught, of course, stealing okay, where they stole the cable. When they were asked what could have led to this, they said, what we are receiving is no longer enough to sustain, and that is nothing but the truth. That is human instinct. The quest for survival. When you look around the families, when you look around the children's school fees are not being paid, you know what that means? And you say you are a soldier. You say you are army. You say you are wearing khaki. Is it khaki that will provide food for the on the table? Is it what we pay the children's school? I don't blame them in as much as I don't support criminality. I don't support stealing. But it is human instincts. It's only few that can resist it. Of there have been reports, of course, where the Nigerian military were indicted about what is happening in Boko Haram, in Bruno, and other parts. You've seen most of them were caught giving their arms to, giving their arms, giving their guns, giving their uniforms. If you receive 60,000 or 50,000 in a month, and somebody say, give me your gun, let me go operation, I will give you 200,000. Wouldn't you be tempted to do that? My people say, Iga awo ogbenye wura amusu. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate. God bless you. Iga awo ogbenye wura amusu. They will be tempted to do that, and you don't have to blame them. You don't have to blame them because the people in Awuronye died to defend who? When you are hungry. If there is peace, if there is tranquility, if there is harmony, those money that were budgeted for procurement of arms, you can understand it now. Huh? Can you understand what exactly we are saying? I hope we are following up. This is, in fact, me, Chico Zendibo. I was teaching because I have the passion. I love the skill of imparting young ones, and of course, if I teach you no understand, it means you have to work on yourself or you have to go to mountain. Honestly, I have the gift, and for me, I'm of course an authority in my own field. By strict regiments of university study, I'm a physical scientist. I was teaching physics. I major in applied physics or industrial physics, as the case is. I was teaching physics. I, I can't pay my bills. I was teaching physics. They were clapping for me. I'm doing good. But my pockets was telling me a different story. I have bills to pay. I have NEPA bills. I have normal. I have security. I mean, how much are you being paid? Less than 30,000. I have to abandon both the textbook and the classroom and run away. Not because, of course, I have no other options, but I don't indulge in exam malpractice, even while as an undergraduate. Of course, I have my colleagues, I have been approached several times to go and write exams for photo students. I graduated from Imo State University. We are so brilliant and, of course, hardworking. Go and write. You will make money, but by my own convictions, this money could not. If it doesn't appeal to my conscience. If I have to do runs, I will do it perfectly now. You can trust me. I will do it excellently with intelligence. If I want to involve in criminality, I will do the criminality with the highest level of intelligence. But that is not my spec. I was not brought up that way. Because my family values good name than words. Ill-gotten words. Not that I don't like words. Ill-gotten words. Any words that will not support your faith, that will make you turn against God, or God turning against you, or putting somebody else in a tight corner. We don't do that. So what do I have to do? Because I cannot continue to survive under that template. It's a killing wage. I was dying. The internet is there. You speak the grammar. I don't mean I'm rich now, but I have to seek for alternative means. I have to leave teaching. They were calling me my student, and the headmaster, I mean, the principal called me because I didn't inform. Who are you writing letter of resignation for what? What you are paying me, you can't even pay me. I told them, of course, I have to serve humanity, and I can't be serving humanity until I die. You can't pay me when, Lagos State landlord. Achago emata ife. Or they give you quick notice, you understand, say, so just to be on the lighter notes. Now, if that can happen to me, what about those who are risking their lives? You see, you are risking your life for Nigeria and you can't pay. You can't even see food to eat. Eat balanced diet. You are exposed. The risk hazard of your job, or you are exposed to high risk, and nothing is coming. I think those people cannot indulge in criminality. You think they can indulge in anything? No wonder criminality is not ending. Of course, Sheikh Gumi said it, an Islamic scholar. He said people who are fighting Boko Haram don't know that in the next 20 years, Boko Haram is still there. Because they are recruiting people that have not seen money, people that have not seen life, people that have not been given opportunity to develop themselves, to become educated and informed and live a more meaningful life. You are giving them, they say, okay, through criminality, I can make 1 million under one day. If I put more effort, I can make 2 million under one day, 5 million, 100 million. How do you intend to stop them? Well, the society is reaping, unfortunately, what they have sown. Because if you have sown ignorance, if you have deprived these people the rights to education, the rights to dignity of labor, now, what do you expect? You are building an army of resistance, an army that will swallow you up. It's just a matter of time. Boko Haram is recruiting in Borno and all that. Who are they recruiting? Is it Chigozendebo? Are they recruiting people from the southeast? Are they recruiting people from the Biafrans? Are they recruiting IBOBs? Are they recruiting people from the West? Except for those who might want to join them, don't be surprised you see people who's also from different regions that may want to join because of the money involved. When there is too much money being pumped to cause problem, after all, people they buy, they kill. There are people that have been caught that beheaded innocent citizens of Nigeria. They ask them, how much did they? Why did they do that? They say they give them 500 naira to behead somebody head. If such people they are given 500,000, they will bring the whole community head for you. Do you understand what you are saying? No, how can you win such people? No, it's an army of destruction, it's an army of resistance. So if Simon Ekpa, who said no, we can't continue in such way, we must build dignity, we must build humanity, we must chart a way forward. If you are two, can two agree without, can two live together without agreement? The Bible, which is the Holy Scripture, said no, it's not possible. There must be an agreement. There must be agreement in terms of ideology, in terms of perception, in terms of word of life. There's two distinct, separate, parallel lines that cannot meet. So why are you forcing them to meet? These are two parallel lines, distinct lines that cannot meet, that have never met, and there is no sign they will meet until the end of the system. All the attempts to force them together has never worked. Changing of the national anthem, does that stop the killing of Zamfara's indigenes? No, does that stop it? Does that stop the invasion of militias running the entire community agog? Does that stop it? A brotherhood will stand. Did they understand that? You must be joking. You must be joking. So, what exactly is happening? Are we not seeing all this? Are the military or the government not seeing all this? How did they tend to address this? So, in fact, we are sitting on a nuclear bomb, on a nuke, not even a cake of gunpowder. Or gunpowder just went to water, rain can fall and drench it and it will not, of course, it will be able to ignite again. But this one is on a nuke. And the critical and what you call the critical mass has been attained. The critical mass is the mass that is needed to sustain the reaction indefinitely. The reaction, the chain reaction, of course, is what we are seeing today. And you can't stop that. You can't stop that. If you must stop that, you must understand and appreciate the situation, the reality on ground, and be decisive about your approach. You must be honest. Several people has called for the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, but some vested interests are still playing politics with that. The truth, I strongly believe that the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu will quell the crisis, the insecurity in the East. We silence some, of course, opportunists who are using that under any disguise to unleash mayhem on the people. They will go under hiding. But why is the government not considering such option? Could it be that they are interested, they have vested interest on the unrest that is going on in the East? So those raises concern, and of course, you see what is happening today. Simon Ekpa says is coming, and Nigeria will burn. But for me, I don't want Nigeria to burn. I don't want Nigeria to continue to ignore the signs, the dangers here that is looming. I mean, that is the highest hostility, the highest, most brutal war is imminent. If you don't take heed to the signs, I'm not the one that will lead to the war. I'm not trying to be a military man, but we can see the signs. We can see the other cheese. We can see it rightly, boldly written over the space. Are you not seeing it? Are you not seeing it? Of course, Simon it was said, is going to reinforce the military defense of the Biafran's defense force. I know what that means. It will be more brutal confrontations. More brutal confrontations is imminent. It's just pending. No matter how much you expend to execute the war, you are not winning. Economically, you are losing. Personnel wise, you are losing on both sides. Then why continue the war? Why we can resolve issues as brothers if we really claim we are brothers? Where there is injustice, imbalance in the system, and unfair treatment, of course, on some quarters, on regions, you are just buying Wese. It's just a matter of time, just as what you are seeing today. Nobody, just interview any person from the East. They will tell you they have given up Nigeria. Just less than 1% or so will still believe in one Nigeria. That is true, just sample opinion. And then that is one of the most recent self-referendum conducted by the Prime Minister of the Biafran Republic of Inesa. You saw he projected 20 million just in a couple of months. He got 30 million as of the last review. You know what that means? More than 50% joined, were willing, and more people. So what does that tell you? And the Nobel laureates have said it. My people say, Otaro kwa jeze, atoro mara omara, atoro feke, ufologa no here. He said it. Hey,